For a lot of us, having a drink is, well, it's normal. It's how we celebrate, how we connect with friends, or just how we kick back after a really long week. But what happens when that simple pleasure starts to feel less like a choice and more like a need?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's a fine line between social drinking and something more serious, and honestly, that line can get pretty blurry. How do you actually know when you've crossed it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
So here's our game plan. We're going to look at how that line gets crossed, figure out the real difference between just drinking and alcohol use disorder, spot the key warning signs, and then talk about what the path to recovery actually looks like. Let's jump in.
First up, crossing the line. And here's the thing you have to remember. This almost never happens overnight. It's not some sudden event. It's more of a gradual creep, where little changes in your drinking habits start to build on each other and, well, snowball. And just so you know, the insights we're talking about today come from the fantastic team at New Life Recovery Centers in San Jose. They see this journey firsthand every single day, and they've built out a whole spectrum of care to help people find their way back.
Okay, so let's move on to normal drinking versus what's called AUD. It's really important to get this. We're talking about a clinical difference here. This isn't just about a vague feeling that something's off. There are actual criteria.
This slide really puts it all into perspective. Look at the left side. That's healthy. Drinking is mostly social, it's not a tool to manage stress, and it's not messing with your life or work. But then you look to the right, and the whole reason for drinking has changed. It's become a coping mechanism, something you're thinking about all the time, and it's starting to cause real problems.
And that brings us to the actual clinical definition. Alcohol use disorder, or AUD, is a recognized medical condition. And this is absolutely crucial. This is not a moral failing. It's not about being weak or lacking willpower. It's a treatable condition where your brain's ability to control alcohol use gets impaired, even when you know it's causing negative consequences.
So, what should you be looking for? This brings us right to our next section, the key warning signs. Honestly, just knowing what these signals are is the first, most important step toward getting help, whether it's for you or for someone you really care about.
So, what are these big signs? Well, it often starts with tolerance, needing more and more drinks just to get that same buzz you used to. That can lead to really intense cravings. Maybe you start dropping the ball at work or at home, and maybe you've even tried to stop, but you just can't. And the biggest physical red flag? Experiencing withdrawal, like shaking, sweating, or feeling sick when you're not drinking. If any of this is hitting close to home, it might be time to reach out.
But remember what I said, AUD rarely just appears out of the blue. These are the more subtle early signs to watch for. Things like just drinking a little more often than you used to, or reaching for a drink every time you feel stressed or sad. Maybe you're hiding your drinking from others. Catching these things early, that can make all the difference in the world.
And that leads us perfectly into why early treatment is such a game changer. It is so easy to fall into the trap of thinking you have to wait until things get bad enough, but trust me, taking action sooner rather than later is incredibly powerful.
Let's just pause on this for a second, because it is so important. There is this huge stigma that asking for help means you've failed somehow. It's just not true. As the experts at New Life always say, seeking treatment is a sign of incredible strength. It's you taking back control of your life.
I love this analogy. Alcohol can feel like this amazing quick fix for stress, right? But what it's really doing is creating a vicious cycle. It's like you're borrowing happiness from tomorrow, but that debt always comes due. And the interest payment? It's usually even more anxiety and more depression. The very thing you were trying to escape just gets bigger.
So what does taking action actually look like? Well, let's talk about your path to recovery. Let's explore the kinds of real, comprehensive options that a place like New Life Recovery Centers offers.
Look, recovery is not a one-size-fits-all deal. That's why having a whole spectrum of care is so vital. For some people, it starts with medically supervised detox to safely manage withdrawal. For others, it might be 24/7 inpatient care. And then there are these amazing flexible options like day programs or intensive outpatient programs that let you get help while still managing work and family. The whole point is to find the path that fits your life.
And getting started is way simpler than you probably think. It really just begins with one phone call. You can call 408-297-1182 for a totally free, completely confidential chat. No commitment, no pressure, just a conversation. The team there will even help you figure out your insurance, which takes a huge weight off your shoulders. And that brings us to our final and most important point. Take the first step today. The message here is all about hope. A new life is totally possible, and that journey can literally start right now.
So here's the biggest takeaway from all of this. If you've been watching this and questioning your own drinking, or maybe you're worried about someone you love, listen to that little voice. That question is worth exploring. Please, don't wait. Taking action early truly saves lives.
You really don't have to do this alone. Take that first step. Pick up the phone and call New Life Recovery Centers at 408-297-1182. The consultation is free, it's confidential, and it might just be the most important call you ever make.